I did a thing, everybody! Did a thing! Bosh! Look at that! Hope you all enjoyed that. That was something I just threw together earlier. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to SDPG, the home of bikes. Sod TNT, really. Mace, I have briefly seen your message. We're not going to do any co-coms from now on, I think, buddy. I think we're just going to leave it as I'll just take over comms. But thank you for the offer. Thank you very much for your kind words. Right. So tonight, this event is a charity event, so we will get into the details in a wee while. But this is what we got for you. Excuse me, over the next 2 days. Tonight we've got classic endurance, and tomorrow we've got modern endurance. Piece of piss. Yes, I did just swear on camera. Bosh, lovely stuff. Right, so this charity event is for the charity Mind. Well, why are we going with Mind, I hear you ask? Well, here comes a big paragraph. Yeah, I constructed this today. So, let me read this one out to you. It's rather lengthy. So, this is our first charity event of the season. This is one I can relate to with anyone suffering from a mental health issue. I will give you, but this is a personal one for me. Let me explain why. So, obviously, growing up, I did suffer from mental health issues, got bullied through school. I mean, can you blame people? I mean, come on, easy target. So, that was the start of my spell in depression. I planned suicide twice, but fortunately, never went through with it, which is rather good. Otherwise, this would never be happening. At 18, my dad passed away right in front of my very eyes, and surprisingly, this was the turn in my mental health. After a couple of months of my dad's passing, my mindset changed. Instead of being negative about everything, I decided to keep my dad's legacy going. My dad was always a joker and wanted to make everybody happy, which is what I'm trying to do here. Doesn't quite always work. I also realised how short life is and to live every day like it was my last. It also made me realise I have to be grateful for everything in life, good and bad. The negative things teach you lessons or make you stronger, and the positive things make you happy. There's a positive in every negative situation. You've just got to be prepared to look for the good. Now, the present day, I do still suffer from anxiety on a daily basis. Unfortunately, that is a bitch that I can never get rid of, and I have been trying. Excuse my French. But I have figured out strategies on how to cope with this. Obviously, I've got a good support network. 3 of those chaps are on FaceTime with me now. They do get me through a lot of tough times, so thank you to Ted, Dylan, and Jan for the continued support. Obviously, just being friends is it's always good to have good friends and good people around you, and also I've got family as well, which is fantastic, and the SDPG community, which we'll get onto in just a second. I don't care what people think of me, apart from the people who are closest to me. I had to prat on stream, I will admit that, but this is the true me. This is not put on, this is the actual me. I am a bit of a div, so please bear with. Every time I stream, I always want to make you guys smile/laugh, because if I can make a positive impact on your day, I feel like I've done a good deed and I've done a good job. Oh, this is taking a bit, isn't it? Bloody hell, we will get onto the racing eventually. So, remember, ladies and gents, life is too short, so live every day like it's your last. If you're ever struggling, reach out to someone. That is very important. Reach out to friends, family, etc. Okay, so here we go. Now we're getting on to the good part. I was always sceptical about running esports leagues because of the negative comments that are made from racing online, but this community has proven that's a load of rubbish. SDPG is the best community in esports. Fact. Argue it will. I would like to thank everyone in the community for having a very positive impact on my life and helping me through day-to-day life. You guys might not see behind the scenes, but I promise you now, all the lads/lasses are very friendly at SDPG. So there we are. Look at that. That was nailed without any crying. Bosh. Look at that. Up the mags. Up the mags. So there we go. Yes, so like I say, if you do ever struggle, please reach out to someone. It's very important. A problem shared is a problem halved. There you are. That's inspirational for you. Yes, it's very important to talk. I know blokes don't really like to talk about their problems. It's actually weak to bottle them up. Just get it out there. Just talk. Listen to music. Do whatever you need to do. But please, always make sure that you share your problems. Right. Okie dokie. So that's that bit done. If you would like to donate to the charity Mind, we have got a link pinned in the chat. So there you are. Go and spend whatever you can on that. We will also be doing some more charity streams this year. I promise you now, we have got the Jude Harvey Foundation. We will be doing a stream for those at some point, and we'll also be doing, we might even do another one for Mind towards Christmas time, because why not, really? Why not? Right, let's now talk about what we've got for you tonight, everybody. Yes, we've got SDPG Endurance action. We've got round 2 of the championship, hopefully. So, there's been some discussions in SDPG HQ. We are umming and ahhing what we want to do, whether the endurance is going to work. Now, last time we ran this, it didn't go very well. The modern endurance did not work. The game could not handle it, and excuse my French, the game shut itself when it was faced with pretty much a full lobby and a 40-minute endurance to do. So, like I say, we are, start that again. If we are faced with any, and I mean any problems with running the endurance this week, so if I get booted out at all, or we have, well, disconnections are part of it, but if I get booted out of any session, then we will look at other alternatives. We have got a plan B ready, so there you go, ladies and gents. We've got plan B is ready to rock and roll. Right, so classic endurance tonight. Classics. So we've got the 750s, we've got R7s, we've got Ninja ZX7 RRs, we've got FZ750 ROW01 for George there. Lovely stuff. We've got a good grid. We'll wait for Ash because I believe he's on his way. And then we will crack on with this one. So we're at Cadwell Park. We thought if we're going to do a charity stream for a mental health organisation, let's give the riders a bit of a test. And Cadwell Park will certainly be tested. Now, there will be no nighttime conditions. It will be moist, as we can see on the screen, because moisture makes everything better. We're not going to repeat that because that is the dirtiest thing I've ever seen on stream. So there we go. Yeah, okay, straight face, lovely. Okie dokie. So let me just refer to my list without knocking anything off. I've got pen and paper. It's always good. Okay, lovely. Yeah. Nice. Right, that'll do. Lovely stuff. Okie dokie. So I'll tell you what, we will do those in the break. So what we're going to do, ladies and gents, we've got a 15-minute qualifying session, and then straight after will be the 40-minute endurance race, with a 5-minute break lodged in the middle. What? Why would you do that, imposter? Seriously. Absolutely redonkulous. So yes, with that 5-minute break, we'll just go over a few adverts that we've got for you. We'll start off now. If you look in the top left-hand corner of your screen, what's up? Hello, peace. Wearing the Malted cap. We are still waiting. Sorry, rephrase that. Ted is still waiting for his latest new designs, so we will get some new Malted caps at some point before Christmas, I hope, Ted. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm sure he will give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down for that one. And then, yes, so if you want a new Malted cap or a cap from Ted, speak to Ted. He will sort you out with a wonderful Malted cap. We've got a thumbs up. We'll get him this side of Christmas. Lovely. Okay. Right. I think we are just about ready. Let's just get on with it, shall we? Hey, look at that! Yes, come on, Aaron. He wants me to have that A45. What a legend! What a legend! we're still yeah. Me and Ted are still negotiating terms on that one, but we've both downloaded Forza Motorsport, so I might just have to get one on there. It's been a bit boring, really, not giving me his car. But anyway, right, okay, let's crack on. Okie dokie, we've got 11 peeps. Going to take part in this one. Let's get the correct screen up. Oh, there we go. Come on. Yes, Ash, you living legend, son. Ted, I hope you send that comment, mate. There you go. Ash has spoken. Oh, he said no. Damn it. Worth a try. Right, here we go. Cadwell Park. It's good to be back. Oh, yeah, I've hurt my arm as well in the break. I don't know what I've done. I think I broke my shoulder. I haven't really. Oh, please don't boot anyone. Don't do it. Now, I have realised I'm not going to slag Milestone off anymore, because Milestone have actually been very helpful behind the scenes recently. So we're going to just rephrase. Oh, here we go. How many for the car for Sean? Bank account well within a spending. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Ash. Me and you could team up here, mate. I think it's a good idea, that. Oh, give over! He's trying to help me with an A45! What are you doing? That's not gone well. Right, I'll tell you what, Ash. We'll sort this, mate. We will get on that. Okay, well, qualifying is underway then for the endurance. I'm going to have to make some sponsor banners and a banner for the top for the endurance. I think that might be a good idea, because that bar at the bottom is scruffy and I don't like it. Right then, let's get Dill C46, Yorkshire's top rack up towards Park Corner, into Park Corner on the Kawasaki. And he's down. No, I'm joking. Through Park Corner he goes then. Nicely done. Just missed the apex by a good couple of miles. Through Chris. Honestly, I'm getting so told off after this. Through the gooseneck then for Yorkshire's top rack on the Kawasaki. This looks weird seeing Dylan on a Kawasaki. Oh, is that where it is, Ash? Oh, it's blame Mace. Into the chicane then for Yorkshire's top rack in his pretty much back garden. He's very good round Cad, to be fair. Where is Dylan slow, to be honest? I can't think of anywhere. So we'll see how Dylan gets on then today in the 40-minute endurance. So, reminder, ladies and gents, there's a point on offer here straight in qualifying for this one. The pole position will get 1 point on the board, and 3 points will go the way of the rider who sets the fastest lap in the race. So down through Barn Corner and down towards the line for Yorkshire's top rack. Over the line he goes on a 128.891 straight off the bat. Good like that from Dylan, who's next up towards line. George, 129.440, 131.4 for Gianluca. Super 10, 130.744. Ooh, I'm liking the white. That's tidy, that. Alfie to the top, everybody. 128.504 for Alfie on the Yamaha R7. Oh, and now he's quickly off it. As through Charlie's, he tips off there. Unlucky that for Alfie. So, provisional front row, Alfie, Dylan, and George. Jordan now up to P4, ahead of row number 2. Ahead of Super 10. And front row Joe on row 2 at the moment. Then we've got Jan, Liam, and Dalton. Good to have Dalton back with us this evening on the R7 in P9. And Scotty Too Hotty rounding out the order at the moment. This will all change, I am sure. Right, Alfie there going the long way round through Charlie's, taking a bit of an excursion. Dylan over the mountain on the back wheel. Very nice, very nice. Through in towards Hall Bends then for Yorkshire's top rack, through the left, through the right, and back over in towards the hairpin. Oh, down he goes. That curb is vicious, I swear to God. Well, he's still got just shy of 12 minutes to get a good lap in. I'm sure Yorkshire's top rack will indeed do that. Right, we've got George now down towards the line on the OWO1 of 129.045. That's a new PB for George. On this one, only half a second off top spot. Super Tag goes up to P4, 129.481 for the Super One, number 34. Got Joe in P5 now, 129.919. Jordan down towards the line. Over the line he now goes on a 130.623. It's quickest lap, 130. Hey, who's moving up? Liam! Liam to the head of row 2, 129.256 for Liam. Let's have a look at this livery. That is stunning. Oh, look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo. I like that, Liam. That is tidy, mate. That is tidy. Dalton now up to P5. 129.358 for Dalton. Good lap. That from him goes on to into the middle of row number 2. Whereabouts is Joe? Down towards Mansfield he now goes. Scotty Too Hotty then up to P8. 130.057. Jordan on a 130.509 and Gianluca on a 131.464. Tiptree's finest, having a blast. Right, Alfie now over the line, in no improvement. Dylan out of the box. Ah, yes. So, I'm glad you... Oh, let's just get George now through Barn Corner down towards the line. This will be a fantastic lap for George. If he can just keep this one going. Over the line he goes, and we'll go to the visual pole, 128.232. Yes, so what we got in the background there is that stopping the light coming through and making me look like a silhouette as Alfie there tips off in towards Charlie's. Oh, look at this, we've got a train to ride here. Yes, so that's just stopping the lights. I promise you, that is not a black flag. That is a windscreen cover for my car, which is broken, so I'm using it for decorative purposes. There we go. Right, so George now on provisional pole position ahead of Alfie, with Dylan rounding out row number 1. There we got Liam Dalton, who heads into Gasoline Alley. 10 points to Gryffindor. Nicely done from Dalton. Ted there going up towards the Park corner. Into Park goes Ted and Alfie. Then we got Joe through the gooseneck. Let's get down through Mansfield on the Kawasaki number 69 machine. Lovely stuff through Mansfield in towards the chicane. For Joe through the right, through the left. Nicely done in towards the bottom of the mountain. Next sector point flashes up now, just shy of 700ths. Up on his PB through the mountain, over the mountain. Yeehaw! Very nice. In towards Hall Bends for Joe. Through the right, through the left, back over to the right, back over to the left, and back over to the right into the hairpin. Runs a bit wide, keeps it on the track, which is all good. Half a second up for Joe. What time? Oh, Ted there tips off very stylishly. So Joe will go into P5. If he can just keep this one going over the line for Joe. 129.136 goes onto the head of row number 2. Great stuff that from Joe. Alfie now down towards the line. Jordan, P2, 128.405 for Jordan. Oh, that's broken. Look at that. Well done, Jordan there. No unsafe rejoin from Jordan there. Good stuff. Right, Dylan now 10th up through sector 1. We'll keep an eye on his progress. Right, let's... my goodness gracious, everyone's improving. Jan's up to 9th now, ladies and gents, on a 130 flat. We've got Scotch Too Hotty over the line. Also does a 130.057, so not too far behind Gianluca on that lap. Right, through Hall Bends now in towards the hairpin for George, number 17 machine, GW Motorsports Yamaha. That's quite an easy one to recognise. Into Barnacle. He's going 2/10 up, people. 2/10 up through the 3rd sector of the lap, down towards the line for George. Over the line he goes. And 127.471. How the hell has he managed that? That's a pretty quick lap time there from George. Holy mackerel. Well, he's got a second faster than anybody else. I've had a voice break. Right, Dylan now down towards the line. Who's that? Joe pops up now into P4. Dylan over the line. Goes second. 127.925 for George's top rack. Right, oh, Liam. Oh, Joe tips off there at Charlie's as we get Liam now down towards the line. Over the line for Liam goes P5, 128.715 for Liam. So let's have a look there as we get Jordan now down towards Mansfield. Looks like Jan just behind. No problem at all, Charlie. No worries, mate. I hope you are well. So we've got George, Dylan, and Jordan, your provisional front row. Then we've got Alfie, Liam, and Joe, row number 2. Then we've got Dalton, Ted, and Scott Too Hot Air on row number 3, and then we've got Gianluca, Tiptree's finest, rounding out the runners and riders at the moment. In towards Hall Bends for Jan, and into the back of the ambulance goes Jan through Hall Bends. Unlucky that for Tiptree's finest. Oh, very nice, Charlie, very nice. Right, I think that's Jan just keeping well out of the way of everybody at Hall Bends. We get Dylan now in towards the hairpin. Getting the next sector point up now. Oh, this could put him in touch with George. Here we go. Down towards the line for Yorkshire's top rack. Where's this going to put him? Oh, close to George at 10th off. George's best lap time there for Yorkshire's top rack. So it's George versus Dylan at the moment with just shy of 5.5 minutes remaining of qualifying for this one. Jordan still in P3. Oh, holy mackerel. Up. that back. Alfie now goes to P3, 7 thousandths of a second behind Dylan. Wow, that is close between the top three, less than a tenth and a half. Yeah, nice. Let's get Jordan now through. Mountain of Ted up to 5th. Do apologise to Super Ted for, oh, it's just spotting that. P5 for Ted at the moment, and a bit of grass tracking. Very nice, very nice. Liam in P6 at the moment. Where's Joe? On his head through Coppice. We've got Dalton now through the chicane. Let's have a look at Dalton then in towards the bottom of the mountain. Half a second up on this lap. So we'll get him a bit closer to Joe if he can keep this one going. Over the mountain he goes. And into Hall Bends. Through the right, through the left. And back over to the right hand side and back over to the left. And then guess what? Back over to the right hand side. George has just gone a little bit faster, 127.319. Dalton nearly a second up on this one. This will see him potentially on row number 2. Well, it will if he can keep this one going. Over the line he goes. Goes P4, 128.364 for Dalton on that lap. Looks like, did Liam just hold to Alfie's progress there? I don't think so. In towards Barn Corner. Oh, 2 tenths up for Alfie, so this will get him close to George's time. It is indeed, Aaron. We have modern endurance tomorrow, buddy. And over the line for Alfie. Oh, he goes P2, not far off George. God, lap times there from all of these guys. Dylan now pops back out of the box. That's Ted now up towards Park Corner. Oh, let's have a look at Joe. Oh, every time I look at Joe, he seems to be off. I do apologise, Joe. Jinxing him. Right, Scotty too hotty now, down towards the line. Over the line he goes, stays in P9. No, I don't think there was any improvement on that lap. I just ain't sure anymore. Oh, George's bike looked lovely that sliding across the grass. I'm sure that wasn't the line he was looking for through Coppice. Well, he's in the box. As who should we have a look at? Oh, we got Jordan now coming in towards the final part of the lap into Barn Corner. A 10th off if we get a good run through Barn and maybe a bit of a slipstream from Jan just up ahead. Might drag him on to an improvement. Over the line they go. Jan's improved, goes to speed 9, 129.392. No improvement for Jordan on that lap. Dalton over the line, he does a 128.161, so getting close to that 27 mark. Probably going to get another 2, maybe 3 laps at a push. Probably 2 will be more realistic for Dalton. Ted over the line, 128.624 for him. Liam's not too far behind. Oh, Ted, neither is Joe. Very close there between Ted, Liam and Joe as Alfie goes top, ladies and gents. 127.301 for Alfie on the big Yamaha. Provisional pole for Alfie. Fantastic stuff from him. George now re-enters the circuit then, just behind him is Scott. Dylan now going on to another fast lap. Let's see if anyone's close to completing the lap. Let's get Liam now through the bottom of the mountain, and over the mountain he's about to fly. Whoosh! Nice, very nice. In towards Hall Bends then for Liam. Through the right, back over to the left, back over to the right, and guess what? Back over to the left, and then back over to the right. Whew! And through the hairpin then for the number 4 machine. Oh, half a second up here for Liam. This will see P5. If he can keep this one going all the way to the line. Over the line you go. Nope, he goes P4. 128.027 for Liam on that lap. Dylan now on to circuit. We'll get one more go out a flying lap. Dalton now over the line. He goes. No improvement for him on that one. Get Ted now through the final corner. Down towards the start and finish line for the number 34 machine. Over the line he goes. No improvement for Ted on that one. Joe not too far behind Ted. Jan's improving pretty well, 129.392. Scott, let's get the number 31 over the mountain. Way on the back wheel. Very nice, very nice. Into, oh, dearie mate, into Hall Bends for Scott. Oh, a bit out of shape into the hairpin, and he still kept it on track. What a living legend. Into Barn Corner. 3 tenths up for Scott, so let's see him on to row 3. Let's get him down towards the line, and we'll find out now. He does go P9, 129.240 for Scott. Joe over the line, he now goes No improvement for front row Joe on that one. Jan through Hall bends in towards the hairpin. Let's have a look. Sector time, half a second off, so there'll be no improvement for Jan on this one. Right, let's go for a run down the order. Alfie, George and Dylan, front row. Liam, Dalton, Jordan, row 2. Ted, Joe and Scott, row 3. And Jan rounding out the order. And did that before the checkered flag. Woohoo! Bosh. Right, big light on. Let's get the big light on so we can see what we're doing. Bosh. Look at that. Well, hey, George on the back wheel. Oh, probably. There's a bit of grass tracky while he's at it. Yes, George. Love that. Oh, Dalton went on to row 1 there. Goes P3 at the death of that session. Alfie now down towards the line. Does he improve? Oh, yeah, he does. 127.158. Whew! Holy mackerel. Holy butter. Wonderful stuff then from the guys there, as that is all she wrote for qualifying. So we are going to confirm those times. I will take a screenshot just for reference. So it is Alfie, George and Dalton will be your front row. Then we'll have Dylan, Liam and Jordan row number 2. Then it'll be Ted, Joe and Scott on row 3. Then we're Jen rounding out the order on that one. Right, we are just going to give the riders 3 or 4 minutes just to get themselves ready. But whilst we do that, whilst we have a bit of a break, let's show you some of our adverts. We can have a go, Dill. Yeah, of course we can. We'll have a look. So yes, if you have nothing to do this evening after the stream, go and follow official BSEC on the old Instagram. We are pushing for followers. We're doing a good job. All the latest news of BSEC will be on that page. And also, go give us a subscription on the old FaceTube. Doesn't take 2 minutes to do. So go and give us a subscription over there. You'll find all of Season 1 of BSEC Racing on there. You'll also find our Ulster Grand Prix event that we ran last week. Just got to upload race day tomorrow, so I will do that. And then everything is pretty much up there. So go and check out SD Productions Gaming on the old FaceTube. Also on YouTube, go and check out Sean at Live 5 Lewis at iCrix's R5L, who is doing some fantastic stuff over on YouTube. So yeah, go and check those out. And we have got an incoming 2025 BSB series that will be featuring on this channel, ladies and gents. I will be back riding on the channel. Never saying that again, because that was not very well worded. But yes, I will be back doing some single player content for you guys. And also go check out the website, ladies and gents. We are putting so much effort into that at the moment. News articles are on there. All the latest news is on the old website. So go and check that out, as well as all the STP, well, nah, not STPG Academy anymore, no, all BSEC riders, standings, results, all are on there, all the events for 2025, etc., etc. So, that is that. We are going to re-lobby, just so we can get Ash in, so I will, I hope this, I'll tell you what, right. Oh, it does go. Oh! Let's go take a picture of the grid, just in case it didn't work. Okay, never mind. Right, we'll just wing it. It's all good. Right, let's leave that. And then we will try and get Ash into this one. If it doesn't work, let's just have a scream. Ah! I want to scream and shout and let it all out. Ah! There we go. Right, what time are we on at the moment? Sorry, my chair is unbelievably squeaky. Ha, squeaky! Endurance. Let's do 40 minutes. We'll go collisions. Yeah, we'll have some contact! Right. Lobby is... Oh, now I've got to do the weather again. Or have I? Yes! No, I don't. Marsh. We'll do a... Yeah, we'll go with that. Lovely. Right, lads, your lobby is now up, so get yourselves in. Let me see if I've got the grid on my phone. If not, I'm going to have a cry. Let's see, please, it works. Okie dokie, so press on that. No, hasn't worked. Oh, for crying out loud. Right. Bear with. I'll be back. Oh, that. Shit, it has worked. Oh, sorry. Thank you. See all that. Joe's on the ball. Thank you, Joe. That's an easy fix, that one. It's an easy fix. Oh, now, you see, what I was doing there, I was just testing, you see. I knew that all along. Sure, buddy! Right, okay. I'll just get the grid up. I'll be back in a sec. Right. Yes, Scott. Yeah, oh man, I've got more than one job to do. And for that, I think we'll just have it all wet. Why not? It's just full rain conditions. Only messing. No, we'll keep it at that. That's absolutely a-okay. Right, let's go. I'll just check for any imposters, and then we'll get the grid set up. Right, I must warn you, ladies and gents. If anything goes wrong here, and I mean anything, if I get disconnected, we'll just run something else. Maybe like Supermotos or something. I don't know. We'll just wing it. We'll just wing it. That's what SDPG does best. Right, where's Alfie? In his house. Oh, not this joke again. Oh, yes, I must also add that Aaron, the mechanic, is an unbelievable comedian. I cannot stress enough. His jokes had, well, they had my ribs hurting. They were that funny. So he was putting some in the... Yes, George! You know the spirit, mate. You know the spirit. Yes, in our little community, Aaron was rhyming off some cracking jokes. I can tell you, none of them are really appropriate for... for, well, this sort of show, because we're professional. In some way. Where's Ted? Right, I'll put these imposters out in a minute. Don't worry. No panic. Just don't panic. That's all I'm going to say. Right. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. They weren't very stream friendly, were they, to be honest? Never mind. They were very funny, though. Very, very funny. What is it with the Italians? Jan's an Italian magnet. Woohoo! Nope, you're all right, Scott. I've worked hard on this, son. Right, okay. Let's we'll have a go. We'll have a look. Of course, we'll have a look. Right. Let's get on. Oh dear. I think we'll just stop that one there, chaps. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yes! Get in! Let's have it! Let's go! Right. Before Dylan actually finishes that joke, let's crack on. Because that is definitely... yeah. Oh dear. Oh dear. Right, what tyres everyone going for? We've got slicks all around. Ha ha ha! They got the round tyres on. RR, round and rounder. No, never mind. No? Okay. Right. That was so bad. That was dreadful. Okay, let's go. 40 minutes of Cadwell Park. What could go wrong? Nothing. Correct. Let's go. Right. This fella looks soaked in his little box, look. Right, here we go. Red lights are not working. Let's go! Woohoo! I get excited with this. What the hell has happened there? Dill goes straight to the lead, everybody. Dill leads ahead of George. Then we've got Chaos behind. Scott's come from the whichever row that was, and is now up through the order. Jordan's been punted off through Coppice. Liam up to 4th. Alfie down to 5th. Dalton in 6th. Ted in 7th. Joey in 8th. Chad in 9th. Ash in 10th. Jordan in 11th. Nailed that. Right up towards Park 1 of the O for the first time of asking, and is Dylan leading this one. George hot on the heels. Here comes Scotty too hotty then for Scotland as Liam tips off at Park Corner. Just gets a little bit wrong. Who else was that? Was that Ash? It was Ash that tipped off the big R7 there. at Park Corner. Look at Jan. Woohoo! Through Chris Curve. Joe runs wide through the gooseneck. Thought Jan was going to have a duck down the inside. Not quite working on that occasion. Ted and Dalton now towards Mansfield. Who has tipped off? It is George. His top rat. Dylan has... Oh, he hasn't tipped off. He's gone grass tracking, ladies and gents. Taking the unique line through Mansfield. And is now down to P9 on this one. As in towards the bottom of the mountain they go for the first time. I need to slow down. Correct. Way! George gets that lit up there over the mountain. So it's George, Alfie and Scott at the moment. George, look at that! Screenshot. Had to be done. Right, into the hairpin then for the first time asking. Whoa! Scott looked like he was going deep there on the brakes. Ted now to P4. Just got past Dalton in the background. Your top three are just stretching away a little bit from the rest. Look at the speed of the R7. As over the line they go, starting on the lap. Alfie thunders past George. George round the outside, everybody. Oh, he's made it stick. That's what we like to see, George. Bravery round the outside, son. And he's made it stick, everybody. Look at this lot. We've got Scott, Dalton, Ted and Joe all in a bit of a scrap up towards Park Corner. We're going to go three abreast. Let's get some screenshots. Why not? Into Park Corner then. Ted just about hangs on to P4. Dalton in third. Starts already. Oh, dear me. Right, Alfie leading this one then by 0.3 of a second ahead of George then down through the gooseneck. Alfie runs wide. And George will retake the lead. Oh, he just chopped his nose off down to Mansfield. Dalton now in that third position and hot on the heels of these guys. So we now got a breakaway through. Ted looked like he was coming in rather quickly there. Well, he's kept on the track. Fair play. Scott and Joe now having a bit of a scrap. 4. That's P, whatever position that was. Ted's tipped off everybody at the bottom of the mountain. We've got Jan now to 6th. Whew. Dylan there in 7th. I cannot keep up what's going on. So we've got, look at this. We've got, oh, look at this. We've got breakaway. We've got groups of 3 everywhere. Right, in towards Barn Corner then for the second time of asking. And George leading this one. Excuse me, ahead of Alfie with Dalton now hot on the heels of these guys. I think the OWO1 just lacking a bit of speed there on the old R7s. But certainly doing a good job to keep up is George in an R7 sandwich. At the moment is the number 17 machine. Through Charlie's then they go on the third lap of this one up towards Park Corner. And Dalton now looks like he's ready to make a move on George. Is he in towards Park Corner? Not quite. George will just about hang on to the position. Yes, just keeps hold of that one. Dalton trying to go around the outside into Chris Curve. Oh, down he goes! Dalton tips off the big R7. Who was that that's tipped off in the back? I think that was Jordan that's just gone down there. Dalton nearly made contact with Dylan on the rejoin. Look at Jan! Holy mackerel, voice break and a half. Come on, Jan, look at this. Joe, Jan and Scott then enough. Oh, and a buffle foot. No! Contact between Scott and Jan. Oh, dear. Okay, right. I've got the tools. There's a warning. I have the power, people. I have the power to give stuff like that. So that was, yeah. I may have to give, yeah. There may be some penalties to shout. Not gonna lie. Okay. Well, Jan's now into 3rd for the time being. We got Joe in 4th. Ted's now to 5th. Dylan in 6th. Dalton in 7th. Scotty Suhotty in 8th. Jordan in 9th. Lynn, Ash in 11th at the moment. Alfie and George then still leading this one. They are separated by nearly 0.8 of a second through Charlie's to go. Joe has tipped off the machine. Down he has gone. That's now promoted Jan up to P3 on the pecking order, with Ted not too far behind, and Dylan also closing in on the pair of them. Dalton is hot on the heels as well, so this could be a good little battle for P3 if this one carries on. Right, through the Chris Curve then goes our race leaders. Alfie is pulling away a little bit here, just starting to gain a bit of an advantage. Let's have a look at fuel then. So, looks like George has done some of the best fuel saving. Dylan now up to P4. Where's Ted gone? Down to 8th, so something's happened there to Super Ted. In towards Mansfield to go for the 4th time of asking them. Through the chicane goes the field. Dalton versus Dylan. This is going to be a good little scrap. So let's have a look on fuel. Scott's doing a good job with his fuel. Looks like Liam and Ted are going quite aggressive with their fuel strategies. Who else? So it looks like Scott, Joe and George are the ones doing, and Dalton also doing a good job with fuel. So this is one of the things with endurance racing. It's all about tactics. When will you box for fresh rubber? The track is set to dry at some point. It could be around the time these guys box for fuel. So we'll see what happens then. As through Charlie's the go. Nearly 2 seconds is Alfie's advantage. Oh dear, we got like, no, don't do this to us. Swear to God, I cannot be dealing with lag tonight. It's just not happening. I'm just not going to deal with it. I'm just going to throw my controller at the telly. I'm not joking. Because that would solve nothing, everybody. That would solve nothing. As we get Alfie now through Chris Curve in towards the gooseneck there. Nearly 2 seconds to the good, like we say. Then we've got George into the gooseneck on the OW01. Yamaha down towards Mansfield. Jan now in P3. 2.1 seconds ahead of Dylan, Dalton and Jordan. That little battle is shaping up nicely. In through Mansfield goes number 61 machine of Dylan. Nicely done. Dalton there as well. Jordan looks like he's really had a good lap here and closed the gap down to these guys. Let's ride on board then with Jordan. Oh, Jan's made a mistake because these guys are now right on the back of the number 27 Tiptree's finest. Into Paul Benz. Look, that's a lovely line from Dylan. Jan's just runs a little bit wide in there. Now I do know Dylan, he will not do anything daft here. In towards Barn Corner. The go. Oh, clips the curb. Oh my God, anxiety there through the roof. Right in the slipstream then. Tell you what, that R7 is a pretty quick machine on the straight. Still just not quite able to get close enough in towards Coppice. Into Charlie's. And lap 6 of this race then. We've got 4 riders in a battle for P3 at the moment. Dylan looking down the inside of Jan. A little bit of contact. That's okay. No harm done there. It's down to up towards Park Corner they go. Hard on the brakes then. Jan getting close to the back of Dylan. Dalton getting close to the back of Jan. Round the outside into Chris Curve. And he's made it stick. Has he? Has he? Has he? Ooh, it's a bit teat. It's a bit teat. Into the gooseneck. And Dalton has just about kept that position. Let's have a look then. Where is Super Ted? Ted there in a lonely P7 at the moment. Oh, Jan now back down the inside in towards Mansfield. Let's just keep an eye on this battle. Oh, Dalton tips off into the chicane. Ooh, that rejoin. Ooh, yeah, that was a bit on the edge. Was a bit on the edge. I think the game did not spot him in a good place there, to be fair. Well, 3.1 seconds to the good, then is Alfie ahead of George, who in turn is 3.3 seconds ahead of Dylan, who in turn is a second to the good. Over Jan, who runs a bit wide at the hairpin. Jordan now about to take advantage. If Jan's not careful on the power, then it's R7 versus R7. Down towards the line and over the line they go to stop lap 7 of this one. And we're nearly 10 minutes into this race, everybody. This is good. Through Coppice Corner then for the 7th time of asking. Who's out in the background? That is Super Ted. Has tipped off at Coppice then. On the OW01. Unlucky that for the number 34. Clips the curb. Liam has now gone down. Charlie's maybe a retirement income. Oh no, he's off on his way. He's off on his merry way. Right, we've got Ted, Joe and Ash now in a battle for P8. Scott there in quite a lonely 7th at the moment. Meanwhile, back up for the battle for P4, we've got Jan and Jordan in this one. 23 versus 27 in towards the gooseneck then for the 7th time of asking. Just over 10 minutes gone of this endurance race down in towards Mansfield for this battle for P4. Oh my goodness gracious. Through the chicane there, Jordan had a look, but backed down a bit well. into the bottom of the mountain, through the left, through the right. Oh, Jan went a little bit wide there at the middle of the corner, and that just helps Jordan back up into P4. Jan having another look back at him. We'll just have a look at the fuel. Dylan's now going quite aggressive on the strategy. Maybe just trying to use that a bit more fuel to close the gap down to George ahead. It's working. 1.5 seconds is the gap between George and Dylan at the moment. Jordan now still holding on to that P4. He has now got past back. Has now got past Jan and is up to 4th. Let's see whether Jan can tag on the back, as Dalton now not too far behind these guys either, and gets a little bit out of shape through Charlie. As we get Scott now through the same part of the circuit on the big ZX7RR. Nicely done for Scott. Just clips the grass there onto the Park straight. Super 10. Up towards Park Corner, number 34 machine. Hard on the brakes. We have got 28 minutes and 10 seconds remaining of this race. Well, at the moment, oh, here we go. Here we go. We got something to have a look at, everybody. There we go. It's the battle for second there, number 17 versus 61. George versus Dill. Oh, Dill gets a little bit wrong. He didn't gain much time though. It would be interesting to see his penalty time for that. Oh my god. Oh, they're both getting out of shape, George and Dylan there. Just struggling to keep their bikes in a straight line. It's into towards Hall Beds. Ah, here we go. Dylan now looking threatening into Hall Bends, trying to pick the pockets of George. Not going to happen into there. Maybe down the pit straight. And look at Jordan, not too far behind these guys either. Kawasaki then versus OW01 Yamaha. Is up towards Cottons to go. And the slipstream is Dylan. He's just not going to have enough road to make it stick into turn 1. Oh, look at that. All over the back of George then is number 61 machine. Through Charlie's on the power the Ghost, right on board with Yorkshire's top rack. That's a good drive from Dylan, getting close to the back of George there. Nearly bump drafting him into Park Corner. No, just think, really thinking about this one. See, this is what I mean. Dylan will not do anything stupid with an overtake. I thought he was about to make a move into Chris Curve. Oh my, look at Jordan! Jordan's on the back of him. Half a second then is the gap between Jordan and Dylan into the goose. Now it's less than 3/10 of a second. Well, it was. Right, here we go. Three-way fight then for P2. As things stand, it would be going the way of George. Now let's have a look in the bottom right-hand corner of your screens, ladies and gents. Excuse me. The track is very slowly starting to dry out as Jordan tips off at the bottom of the mountain. That now allows Jan up to P4. And Dylan through on George into Hall Bends to go. They have lost a bit of time though with the scrapping. That's just allowed Alfie to have a 8-second advantage as Alfie now thunders over the line and goes on to the 10th lap. Excuse me, of this one. Over the line for Dylan and George. Jan not far behind these guys here. They're having a good run. Here is Tiptree's finest. And we've got Jordan now over the line. There's Scott Ash now up to P7. Good run this from the number 2 machine. And we've got Dalton in P8. Joe now flashed over the line. P9. It doesn't, you know what I mean. He doesn't flash because that's just rude. And it's not after 9. As Ted over the line, he now goes. Number 34, OW01 machine. And we've got Liam rounding out the order at the moment. But with this track drying, will anyone be looking to box for slicks early? So you don't want to pit too early here, because if you pit too early, you obviously then might not make it to the end of the race. You won't be able to attack the fuel strategy, the engine map, as you would like. I think the Rise in the best position at the moment. Well, George categorically is in the best position. Maybe just conserving that fuel a little bit. Oh, it's Dylan tips off then at Mansfield, and that now helps George up to second, Jan up to P3. Well, as I was saying there, George has just done well on the fuel there, just keeping that fuel down. That consumption is good. So, same with Joe, actually. Woo! Go on, George. Lay on the style, son. Holy mackerel. So, yes, what that will mean is George might be able to stay out a lap longer than his rivals at in this one. Oh, as George tips off now in the hairpin. And Jan's up to second. Here we go. Tiptree's finals versus Yorkshire's top rat versus George. And he's got a nickname for George, actually. We'll figure one out as Alfie now in towards Coppy's. He's already through Charlie's at this present moment. So, yes, like I was saying, George will now have maybe an extra lap. And that could become crucial towards the end of the race because he will be able to attack the strategy in the second half of the race on his second stint. That might just help him overhaul the riders ahead of him. But as you can see on the bottom right hand side of your screens, ladies and gents, the track is drying. The rain has stopped. It has now stopped. As Dylan down the inside of Jan in towards Park Corner. George wants a slice of that pie. And into Chris Curve. He will get past Jan. Will Jan get the cut back? Of course he will. He'll have a look into the gooseneck then. Number 27 versus 17. A little bit of a nudge for George there. These three in super bikes for BSEC Season 2. Let's not forget those jets, so we could be seeing a lot more of this. Oh! George and Jan make contact. We're in Mansfield. Both keep it up. Right, that is the main thing. Good battle this for P2 on the road. Alfie now got nearly a 13-second advantage as through the mountain. There you go. Nicely done from all of those guys. Oh, as Scott tips off there, nearly collects it. Ash now up to 5th. This is a good run for Ash. Jordan will just take Scott there as well. Right, let's have a look. Who's in danger in terms of fuel? Who's going to have to box in the next couple of laps? Well, at the moment, it looks like it's going to be Liam, potentially, that will have to box first. He's got the least fuel. So 33% versus 46% for George. That's pretty good for George's sake. Like we say, he will have the advantage in the second stint. So is he preparing for that final push? I reckon the riders, certainly the likes of Liam, might have another 3-4 minutes left in the tank before they'll have to box. Now, we will know when the riders have to box because you'll get an audible reminder and there'll be some red flashing text at the bottom of the screen. So we'll keep an eye out for that and I'll let you know when that pops up. So just looking at the fuel situation again, looks like Alfie's gone quiet. No, he hasn't got aggressive actually. I don't think that's too aggressive for Alfie. George looks like he's certainly backed that fuel mode off, not pushed the bike too much. He's doing a good job there in P2. So what will he be able to do with full whiskey in his right wrist? Well, we'll find out in the next stint because the pit stops are not far away. Into the bottom of the mountain then goes Dylan and George through the left, through the right, over the mountain. Yeehaw! Very nice. Jan just dropped off a little bit there. 1.8 seconds is the gap between George and Jan. As we get Ash now in P5 going to Hall Bend. So he's not far off this scrap either, as Alfie already thundering over the line in towards Coppis. He now goes. And we've got a battle here between Scott, Dalton and Jordan as things are looking. I've got Joe not far behind either. Ted is into Hall Bends now. And we've got Liam also into the bottom of the mountain. Well, we've not seen much of him so far this race, ladies and gents. He's been in a world of his own. Alfie there in towards Park Corner. We're nearly at half race distance for the classic endurance riders. As we get down that one towards Park Corner, just stretched the gap ever so slightly out to George. All the pilots protesting there through Park. So let's have a look at fuel then. Fuel has dropped off for quite a few riders. They're going to have to be careful. So if they fill the tanks, they should all just about, depending on fuel strategy, get to the end of the race. Should. Oh, it's Jan there. Runs onto the grass at the gooseneck, really pushing the limits of the circuit. Meanwhile, George hounding the back of Dylan. Look at the spray now. So there's not as much spray coming up from the back of the machines. As through the mountain they go, over the mountain. Jan doing a great job. This is a very impressive ride from Jan, the number 27 machine. 7 seconds ahead of Ash. So it looks like Ash has made a mistake. He has indeed, because Dalton, Scott and Jordan now hot on his heels. Into Hall Bends they go. Through the right, through the left. Back over to the right, then the left, then the right. Jordan having a look at Scott. Scott's going wide. Dalton's tipped off, and so has Scott there at the hairpin. And that body language said it all, with his head firmly in the grass. Dylan now has dropped to third, ladies and gents, because George has made a move on Yorkshire's top rack in towards Charlie's then for the 14th time of asking. This is a great little race. I am enjoying this. I am thoroughly enjoying this one. Whoa. What the hell? Holy crumpets, everybody. That, ladies and gents, is what you call lag. Oh, Liam's in. We've got our first pit stop of the race then. Liam has boxed, so he will take on fresh tyre. Now, here's another conundrum. The track is drying. If you box now and go back out onto wet tyres, you are going to have to make another pit stop in literally probably about another 5 minutes or so. But if you go out on the if you go out on the slick tyres, you might not have enough grip. Well, Liam is going to risk this one. He's going to risk it for a hobnob as out he's about to come. And there we go. Liam now out on the slick tyres, everybody. Medium front, soft rear for Liam. We'll see how he gets on as Alfie now thunders over the line. And on to lap 15 of this one. We are less than half race distance to go. So Jan in P3 as things stand. Dylan in 4th place. Then we've got Ash, Jordan, Dalton, Joe, Scott, Ted, and Liam there, who has just boxed for slick tyres on a wet track, everybody. Let's see how Liam gets on. Well, that will mean he won't have to pit, but he might just be a little bit slower at this phase in the race. As we can see, that gap is coming down. Alfie is closing that gap, is he? I can't tell. Anyway, into the pits comes Scotty Too Hotty now. He is going to take a set of slick tyres as well. A medium front, soft rear for Scotty Too Hotty. So he's now going for the gamble. Riders are going to have to box. The likes of Jordan, Dalton here. Who else? We've got Ted also might have to box in the next 1 to 2 laps. Going to be close, this one. Going to be close. As Dylan now into the goose egg. He now goes as Alfie over the mountain. Yeehaw! Very nice. In towards Hall Bends. Through the right. Through the left. How much fuel has he got? He's got 20% fuel. George is in the best position here because he could box around the time where slick tyres will start to become the preferred option for rubber on the machines. Please never say that again, Seamus. Please don't do that. As into the hairpin, then goes number 17 machine of George. Alfie goes for another lap. That's George now. Let's see what George did. I'm sure George will be staying out for another couple of laps, I would have thought. Down towards the line he goes over the line. Yes, he stays out. Jan also stays out. What will Yorkshire's top rat do? Dylan will cross the line. Ash also over the line. Jordan boxes. Jordan is the next rider to pit. Oh, dearie me. That's one way to enter pit lane. Oh, that's not fair. Right, well, Jordan now in the box. We'll see what tyres he puts on. Ted also in the pits. Let's see what he's... So, Jordan's gone for medium front and rear tyres. Ted goes medium front, soft rear. That track is drying. There's not a lot of spray coming up from the machines, but it is still wet. What a conundrum the weather gods have played here. Right, Dalton will probably have to box this lap. And we are about to see that red text flash up for Dalton. Again, George could probably do another 2 laps here, and by that time, like we say, the track will be probably slick tyre weather. So Scott off on his merry way. So is Super Ted on the OW01 machine. Jordan there also out on circuit. There we go. So it's not in red text at all. It's in an orange little screen at the bottom. Listen to the audible reminder. There we go. So that red flashing number means Dalton will have to probably box this lap just to be on the safe side. Look, the sun's breaking through as Dylan there has a moment. Jan's tipped off at Hall Bends. That's dropped it down to P4. Right, Alfie's gone for another lap. So is George. What will Dylan do? Dylan boxes. Yorkshire's top right there will box with the track at 40% moisture. Jan also in. So is Ash. Right, let's see what tyres to go for. Jan goes for medium soft for Ash. Dalton also in. Medium for Dylan and a medium for Dalton. Bosh. Now that Joe also in the pits here. Let's see what tyre combinations he goes for. Alfie goes through the bottom of the shop. Medium soft for Joe. Right, Alfie will have to box. I would have thought this lap just to be safe. 38% moisture on the track at the moment. Let's see whereabouts Jordan is, in towards the hairpin. Ted now through all bends. He now goes. So we've got Jan out in P3, Dylan in 4th, Dalton in 5th, Ash in P6. Joe's not filled the bike all the way. Neither has Dalton there. Interesting strategy. So he spent less time in the box, so spent less time in the pits, but he won't be able to run full whiskey on the fuel. Right, Alfie now in towards Barn Corner. What will Alfie do? 35% moisture on the track. Alfie does indeed pit. Right, George is the one we've got to keep an eye on. Let's see what happens. Oh, listen to that. That sounds lovely. Right, what's George going to do? Is he going to go for another lap? No, George will now box as well. He might have to actually put less fuel in here, so that could work out better for George. Obviously, he's got 7% less to fill. George going for medium. Has Alfie not changed his tyres? Has Alfie not changed his tyres, everybody? Oh, we got a conundrum! Holy mackerel! He hasn't! Alfie's not changed his tyres, he's on moisture tyres! He's on the round tyres, the rough tyres. Oh no! That could cost his chance of victory. George now goes out on the slick tyres and has put less fuel in. He's only put half a tank in, just over. Wow! Okay, Jan now in P3, Ash in 4th. I think Dylan might have tipped off there. In P5. Oh, that could be a crucial mistake for Alfie. Is he going to try and survive the rest of the race on wet tyres? Was that a mistake with the pit crew not getting the slick tyres ready? If he does box, he will not have to fuel up. That is pretty much secured. It'll just be tyre change. That's still going to cost him probably about 20-30 seconds in the pits. So we'll see what he does then. If Alfie was to box, I reckon he would come out in 2nd, but that would hand the win to George. Let's see what happens. I love endurance racing. This is the absolute dog's gonkers. Lovely. As Jan now through the gooseneck down to... Well, hey! That's a unique line through the gooseneck for Jan. Right. I'm very interested to see how Alfie gets on. Right, so he's warmed his tyres up. Has there been a glitch in the system? They do look like rain tyres. Let's see what he's going to do. He's staying out there, everybody. He's staying out. To be fair, George hasn't closed the gap down too much. 7.4 seconds. The track is not fully dry, though. This is my thinking face. Well, we've got an interesting end to this one. That's pretty much guaranteed. In towards Charlie's then goes George. We will keep an eye on that gap. As up towards Park Corner goes Alfie. George not quite getting the temperature in that front tyre at the moment. Still a little bit chilly. Up towards Park Corner, half a second faster now is Jordan. He is starting to take a little bit of time out of Alfie on the brakes into Park Corner. He now goes. Jan in P3. Dylan up to 4th now. Dalton in 5th. Ash now down to P6. Jordan in 7th. Front row Joe in 8th. Having a good battle here with Scotty Too Hotty for that P8. Two Kawasaki's together. Let's ride on board with Scott then. As up towards Park Corner they go. On the brakes for these guys. Nicely done there. Both get round safely. Super Ted not far behind either. We'll see whether Ted can close that gap down. Right, 6.7 seconds is the gap out front. In 10 minutes, it might be possible. George has just got to try and keep his head here. Is Alfie going to stay out? I reckon he will. But the next problem is he might be burning those tyres out. To be fair, he isn't. He's not burning those tyres out whatsoever because the track is still a little bit damp. I can't see any damp patches either. Well, here we are. So in towards Charlie's then goes Alfie. Now, will his performance all of a sudden drop off here? That is the question. Well, George is catching. George is catching. Dylan now is up to 3rd because Jan has tipped off at Barn Corner. And that has helped Ash down up to P5. Dalton up to 4th. And Dylan, like we say, up to P3, but 25 seconds down on the race leader at the moment. So the gap out front then, 6.1 seconds. Dalton now up to third because Dylan's gone grass track in at Charlie's. Oh, looks like Jan might have made another mistake, has he? Because Joe and Scott are closing that gap down. So is Jordan as well. Look at this lot. Whoa, hey, Jordan on the grass. Oh, on slick tyres. Oh, Dylan ran a bit wide there at Park Corner. Right, that gap now is 5.5 seconds. As things stand, Alfie does not have much to fight with here, apart from a bit of straight line pace on the R7. Well, through the corners, George is just gaining massive ground. Through Hall Bends for George. Look at that. That looks superb. Into the hairpin for George. Alfie will stay out, I would have thought. I don't think he would box now and try and fight on a dry track with wet tyres. Fair play to him. That is, yeah, I was going to take some doing. Whilst George's lap time, 1:29.3, taking 7/10 out of Alfie on that lap. Meanwhile, scrap for third. Let's have a look then. Dalton, Dylan, Ash not far behind either. Where's Dalton and Dylan? I'm not going to say what I'm thinking because it's not after 9. As down towards the line goes number 57 and number 61. Now the next question is, will George have enough fuel? I think he will. I think he will. He can afford to knock this back a peg here, can George? Just to make sure he has got enough fuel. Look at that. He's taking chunks of time out of Alfie now. Alfie's really struggling on them wet tyres. Down towards Mansfield, nearly through. Oh, look at that. Now we are less than 4 seconds is the gap. Slick tyres is now the way forward. In towards the chicane. Through the right, through the left, on the power. And in towards the bottom of the mountain then. Goes Alfie and look at Alfie there over the mountain. Still sending it. Oh, slight mistake there from George. That's just going to help Alfie out. But 7 minutes remaining of this one. I think Alfie might just be a sitting duck. Let's just keep an eye actually on the gap between Dalton and Alfie. I would have thought that would be coming down as well. As through into the bottom of the mountain they go. So the gap between the leader and the rider we're looking at is in red next to their name. So the gap is 23.5 seconds between Dalton and Alfie, as Alfie has now shot through turn number 1. Through the hairpin then goes Dalton. Yes, that gap is coming down as well between Alfie and Dalton. Of course it would be. Of course it would be. Right, this could be bringing a knife to a gunfight here between Alfie and George in towards Park Corner then. Lap 22 of this one through Park on the power. In towards the Chris curve. 2.8 seconds is the gap between Alfie and George at the moment. I'd be tight on fuel here for George, depending on his fuel strategy at the moment. If he's gone full whiskey with the fuel map, it might be close. It's going to be close whether he will get to the end. Meanwhile, Dalton and Dylan still circulating together with Ash in P5. Jan in P6, second and a half ahead of Scotty Too Hotty then. Then we've got Super Ted up to 8th now. We've got Jordan and Joe scrapping for 9th and 10th. Then we've got Liam through Charlie's, and obviously he's closing the gap. Everyone is closing the gap down to Alfie, as we've got Dylan up to P3. Dalton has made a mistake, and Ash now all over the back of Dalton. 57 versus number 2 machine into the bottom of the mountain. Both giving each other a lot of room. Great racing from the pair of them. Good racecraft. Ash there just went a bit wide. Not wanted to clatter into the side of Dalton. Just sitting in the top of our screens. The leaders have gone through. Turn number 1. Well, we've got just over 5 minutes remaining of the modern, no, not modern, no, the classic endurance here at Cadwell Park in towards Park Corner there. 2.1 seconds is the gap between Alfie and George. It's now less than 2 seconds. Oh, George gets a bit wrong through the Chris curve. He hasn't dropped it. He has not dropped it. It's just maybe turned it a little bit too early. The bike turned better than he was expecting. Down towards Mansfield then. In towards Mansfield he now goes. We are in for a grandstand finish here. Just look at the time that George is soaking up there. on Alfie in towards the bottom of the mountain. Through the left. Oh, squeezy cheesy peas! Sorry. Right. Let's be mature about this. In towards Hall Bends then. Sorry, that's a bit of an inside joke. Through Hall Bends then for Alfie and George. 1.8 seconds. Oh, goodbye, squeezy cheesy peas. Into Bond Corner then for George. 1.5 seconds is the gap. He has taken time out of Alfie. He's got just shy of 4 minutes to do it then, if he is going to make an impression on Alfie. Let's go for a rundown of the order then. So this is Alfie, George, Dylan, your top three. Then we've got Dalton, Ash, Jan, Scott, Ted, Jordan, Joe, and Liam. Excuse me, that is the order at the moment. Less than a second is the gap now. Up towards Park Corner then. 3.5 minutes remaining of the classic endurance. In towards Park Corner. If Alfie hangs on to this, this will be his best. Whoa, George! Holy mother of God. That was a humongous moment for George, but he's kept himself in this battle. He's kept himself on the track. Look at that. Alfie's struggling now. I was going to say, if Alfie wins this one, it'll be his best win he'll ever have in SDPG. Right, in towards the chicane they go. Through the chicane on the power and in towards the bottom of the mountain. Less than a second is the gap now. Right on board with George then, in towards Hall Bends. Alfie will have the top speed advantage over the OW01. Nice look through the hairpin. 2.5 minutes remaining of this one, ladies and gents. Who is going to take top honours in this race? Over the line to start lap 25 of this one. George has got to be careful here. 19%, 18% fuel. Oh, I tell you what, this is going to be close in more ways than one. Right, well, through Charlie's on the power up towards Park Corner then. Here we go. George is now within striking distance of Alfie then. Is he going to make a move into Park Corner? No. Thinks better of it. Alfie brakes late. Too late. He's broke too late. And off the track he goes. George now takes the lead in this one with less than 2 minutes remaining. But will George have enough fuel to get to the end? Oh, this is drama. SDPG at its finest. Down into Mansfield they go then. Through Mansfield, Alfie really struggling to get that bike stopped now and turned. He's done a great job of hanging on in there. Through the chicane, I think George might just be a-okay, but Alfie is not giving up without. Oh, he's not going down without a fight, is he? Look at this, over the mountain they go then. In towards Hall Bends. George runs a bit wide there. Alfie could retake the lead here. In towards the hairpin. George just hangs on, parks the bike well. A minute remaining of this endurance. We are going to go on to the final lap. Here we go then. Alfie versus George. George has got to keep this one clean. He should just have enough fuel to get to the end. If Alfie could just get close enough, he might just have to go for an audacious move somewhere to try and pull this one off. But look at that. George has stretched out that gap on the slick tyres. He's managed just to pull away a second to the gut. I think Alfie's now too far back. I think it could be game over for Alfie's winning chances. If you have just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, just flicked on, well, you've just missed an absolute, well, you missed a barnstormer. And it's not over yet, though, because Alfie is out on a slick, he's on a dry track on wet tyres. George has timed it well and is out there on the slick tyres. Closed about 8 seconds worth of an advantage and has now taken the lead of this one. Dylan now up to third. We'll just need to keep an eye on this battle, though. Through Mansfield, and the checkered flag will be out at the end of this one. And Alfie's overcut it at the chicane, and that has now given George a second advantage, just under. Over the mountain to go. Oh, Alfie's down in the background. Oh, what a shame for Alfie. He put up such a good fight. And look at this. If we'd had one more lap, George would have been in trouble. Well, ladies and gents, what a race. We are not going to deny. Your race winner then, George is going to put it on the back wheel and takes it, literally with a couple of laps to go. George takes the win. Oh my God, that panicked me then. George wins ahead of Alfie. Fantastic race by the pair of them. Great effort that from Alfie on wet tyres on a slick track. Fair play. Dylan will just hang on to P3 ahead of Dalton. Ash will come around the final corner. Barncorn on the back wheel. Yes, Ash. Lovely stuff. Ash will take P5 in this one. Good run that from Jan. Was hovering around that podium positions for a while. P6 for Jan. Great effort. Scott there in P7. Oh, Ted's doing a bit of grass tracking. Why not? It's the end of the race. Ted will take P8 ahead of Jordan. And then we'll have Joe and Liam. Right, okay. I'm going to take this back. Dalton has got himself a podium. And 3 points for fastest lap. Penalty time will give Dalton 3rd place. So there we go. Woohoo! SDPG's just lit. I said it. Right, okay. Screenshot. Actually, what I'm going to say, provisional results. There may be some penalties later on. But we'll have a look. I'm just having a look at something, bear with. Ted's showing a clip. Yep. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just being nosy. Ooh. Okay. Right. I'm just gonna... We'll deal with that tomorrow. Right. Sorry, Ted's just showing a clip. Right, so here is your race results then, provisionally. We've got George taking the win ahead of Alfie, who put up a strong fight there on rain tyres. Well, it was Dalton that will take P3 ahead of Dylan, with Ash in P5, Jan in 6th, Scotty Too Hotty in 7th, Ted in 8th. Then we've got Jordan in 9th, Joe in 10th, and Liam rounding out the runners and riders in that one. Well, that was boring, wasn't it? Only joking. Well, there we go. So, the Classic Endurance seems to be running really well. So this was not something we were concerned about. Tomorrow is the one we are worried about. I do have a feeling we are going to have issues tomorrow with the Modern Endurance. So if we do, we have a backup ready to rock and roll. So yes, there we go. If we do have issues with the Modern Endurance, we may scrap the Modern Endurance and keep the Classics, because we cannot not have endurance racing here at SDPG, because, well, that is the Dogs Conkers, really. It is the Dogs Danglers. Right. Okay, we'll just wait for the game to figure out what it wants to do. Doesn't know. Really does not know. Okay, well, we'll just sit here and we'll just... Yeah. There we go. Lovely stuff. Well, ladies and gents, I hope that has brought a bit of positivity to your day, chaps. Well done to all of you. That was a fantastic race to watch. Certainly at the front, that was fantastic there between Alfie and George. I could not call that. Could not call that one. Like I say, ladies and gents, we will be back tomorrow with the timetable. Let's get the timetable up. So, we have got a plan B if the Modern Endurance does not work. So, there we go. That is your timetable for tomorrow, Tuesday the 10th of June. We've got to qualify for the Modern Endurance, and that is going to be one to watch, I can tell you now. Then we've got the 40-minute race afterwards, hopefully. If not, we'll cry. There we go. So we'll do our little speech again tomorrow for anyone that missed it. Well, ladies and gents, that was a fantastic stream. I'm sure you will all agree. Thank you very much for joining me tonight, ladies and gents. It has been awesome. It's been fantastic to share this with you. Don't forget to follow us here on Twitch. We are so close to 200. That was our goal for the year, and we've nearly done it in half a year. So up the mags. So if you could, please give us a share. Let's get the name out. Let's see what we can do to try and get 200 followers here on the old Twitch for SDPG, because every follow means the absolute world to us. So thank you very much, ladies and gents. Well done to all riders, and we will see you in less than 24 hours for the modern endurance race for charity. There we go. Look forward to that one, and hope you have a very good rest of your evening, ladies and gents, and we will catch you tomorrow. See you later.